Good morning and good afternoon. Happy Friday. And if you're celebrating Veterans Day early today, I know my kiddos are off. I hope you're having a great Friday and just doing something fun with the family and getting out and yeah, just making a day of it. So thanks so much for tuning in to Tisha Talks live at 10:45. So happy to have you here. If you're tuning in off of LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook, we definitely love comments and love for you to be part of the conversation. I'll be bringing my guests, Shantel and Troy, in just a little bit. But before we get started, I have a couple of announcements I want to make for those of you who are in the Phoenix area. I want to give a big shout out to my sponsor, Gateway Bank. They are out here in Mesa. They're a community bank, and they are getting ready to open up a second location in Phoenix. So big thank you to them for always being such a great supporter of the community and of my events and of this live stream. Next up, I have a couple of connecting through community events, and I'll be giving details about that soon, but save the dates for December 15th out in Chandler doing a blood drive with the American Red Cross. And we're also collecting some toys and blankets for Sunshine Acres that same time. And then the next day, we'll actually be putting wreaths on veterans' grave sites with another organization. So if you are looking for community projects, service projects you can do with your family, then I highly encourage you to connect with me and learn more about those events. Well, before I bring my guests in, you know how I like to do this? I like to kick us off with a little bit of a dance party. So get your dancing shoes on. I'll be right back, and then we're going to start the show. Well, welcome back. I see my guests smiling. They are ready. They're pumped. I've actually never met Shantel and Troy, just today. Like, Shantel and I have been talking on LinkedIn, and Troy's like, you seem like you're good energy kind of people. And I'm like, oh, I so am, especially on a Friday, which is why I love doing these live streams. And again, if you've never been to a Tisha Talks live stream, this is something where I just love to do this. I love to be able to connect and talk to people all around the world, including some of my favorite authors, and just have a casual conversation with them, be able to learn from them, and be able to provide value to those who are watching on topics concerning everything: business, life, mental health, everything. Today, we're going to be talking about how to work with your husband or your spouse as a business partner. So I know if you were like, I want to work with my husband, but I have no idea how this is going to work, you're in for a treat, because Shantel and Troy are going to share with you all of the advice and give you the hope that you need in order to do that. So let's go ahead and bring them in. A very big warm welcome to Shantel and Troy Brooks out of Georgia. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here, Troy and Shantel.
Hello.
Good stuff. All right. Well, I'm going to get us situated here. But yeah, I'm very excited about this. I've actually never thought about working with my husband. Not to say that it will not happen, maybe in the future. When he's retired. So my husband works for the city of Mesa out here and is putting in like 30 years, almost done. He's almost retired. And I think he's just going to be like, what do you want me to do? What do I do next? Like, how do I help you? So I have a feeling like we're going to go down that path, but probably not for a couple years. So this is great. This is some great information that you're going to be sharing as well. So thanks so much. Coming to us from Georgia. Welcome.
Woo, by way of New York, we will say.
Oh.
We are born and raised in New York, Queens, New York.
Okay.
Yes, we moved to Georgia about 2 years ago, Metro Atlanta area. So if you're nearby, shout us out. But we actually met each other back in junior high school, 7th and 8th grade, and have been friends ever since.
Oh, I love it. Well, and you have to be friends with your spouse, I think.
Okay.
I think that's like one of the rules that just you have to be friends. You really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think so. We
Yeah.
talk about healthy marriages and what that looks like, and we find that people get married for different reasons, and we say friendship is definitely one of those fundamental ingredients that every healthy marriage should have. So yes, should like the person that you have chosen as your life partner.
I agree. So if I can say, and then I'm going to go ahead and bring in some comments and some hellos to some people tuning in live, but I have this feeling like a lot of the friends that I have are like, I liked him before. I liked him when we had kids, but I don't know if I can hang with him once the kids are gone. Like
Mhm.
once you're empty nesters, will you still have that same spark that you're like, hey, it's like we're on our honeymoon and the kids are gone and we have so much to talk about and catch up with. And I find that some couples just are like, I feel like the spark is gone and we don't really have that anymore. It's like
Mhm.
we're in it, we had the kids, and now what the heck do we even talk about when we're just together alone?
Right.
So, hard place
Yeah.
to be in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll definitely speak to this one. I was like, I'm tackling this.
Tackle it, Troy.
So I think honestly, the premise of what we're doing too is just to make sure that people actually prioritize their marriage. It's so easy when you have the kids, when you have the different careers, to honestly have all these other individuals that get between the marriage, and we know that marriage was truly designed for the husband and wife to be at the head of the house. Like I love our kids, we love our kids, but don't make me choose. I love my wife more. And because of that, our kids reap the harvest. They reap the benefits of that. You know what I mean? I say it all the time that, we're raising two young men to be, that the best thing that I can ever do for them is show them how to treat women by how I model love for their mother. So how I show up for my wife, affirmations, just romance, being lovey-dovey in front of them, subconsciously, I think is showing them how to treat women immediately. So for us, we really prioritize nurturing our relationship and fostering our relationship and keeping that the focus, because eventually the kids are going to leave the house. Kids turn 18, especially if you got boys, they're
They
out.
gone. They're
They're
gone.
gone. And then you, like you said, you're staring there. You're at your spouse, like, I got to get to re-know you all over again. So the goal for us is to never have to do that. We even got the 2-2-2 model that we try to follow within our marriage, which is date nights every 2 weeks, little weekend getaways together, just the two of us every 2 months, and then getaways out of the country or somewhere, just the two of us every 2 years. Our primary goal is to focus on enriching our marriage. This way, we just know we're doing what's right for our kids anyway, by keeping us happy and healthy and together. Keeping that connection ultimately benefits them as well.
Yeah.
I am so happy you tackled that question, Troy. Like now I'm like, okay, the 2-2-2 model. I love it. And while we're at it, so hello to Royce Blake joining us here in Arizona, as well as Julie Cook. Thank you guys so much.
What's up, Julie?
Yeah, we have some folks on also on Facebook tuning in. So thanks so much. I love that you're popping into this live stream. Perhaps, you want to learn how to be a better partner, even if you're not in a business. And I think what you said, Troy, is so spot on. I read a book recently in a book club called The Empowered Wife. I don't know if you guys have read it. And I really loved it because it had so many great principles about how to treat your partner and really more about respect. More than anything, it was you have to respect your partner. And I will be honest when I say I was totally guilty of the thank you so much, but the way you did that was not so good. You should have done it like this. I would have done it like this. And then, my husband's like, well, the freak, I'm not going to do it anymore if that's the way you want me to do it. Like it just, those types of little things, or this was my favorite. And Shantel, you can probably attest to this. When we think that our husband knows what we want without us even saying it. And Troy, you're laughing because you're like, oh, yes.
Hey, another mind reader, right? Like,
we expect it. No, you should know what I want. My husband's like, we
actually have that also in the reverse.
Yeah.
So So we are both. We both think we're mind readers.
We're both.
I think you just have to come out and say it. I want this. Great. Now I know. Now I know. All right. Well, perfect. Well, again, if anyone is tuning in and has questions, this is the opportune time. I will also say that this is recorded. You can come back and watch it anytime. There's a replay, both on the Spartners Facebook channel, it looks like, as well as on my personal profiles on LinkedIn, Facebook, and on YouTube. So you can always connect with Shantel and Troy and myself. And if you have questions, we do go back and look at those comments. So make sure that you ask away, even if you're watching this on the replay. All right. So first question I have for you, because again, I think a lot of couples, they're like, should I work with you? Should I not work with you? What's this going to do to our marriage? Like, what led the two of you to get into business together? And tell us a little bit about what you do together in your business.
Yeah. I was your traditional 9-to-5 employee. I was an assistant principal. I was teacher, assistant principal, educator for 15 years. And he was always our wild card entrepreneur. And so we always joke and say he married me for the benefits and health insurance. And I married him for like living his passion, purpose-filled life, you know? And so we, that life was really valuable to us because it allowed us to be able to save money to buy our house. It allowed us to have an emergency C-section and not have to cover any expenses. It allowed for us to just live a quality life as far as like stuff. But what it was doing to me internally was dying of a slow, painful death, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, because I knew that I wasn't living in my purpose. I knew I was really great at what I did, but I knew that I was designed for something different, something more. And Troy has always been an entrepreneur. He always had his hand in different buckets. And he's always like, you need to join my side of the fence, my side of the world.
Listen, jump in the water is fine.
Yeah. And I was like, we need stability. We need stability. So finally, you just fast forward. God finally was like, listen, I'm not playing with you anymore. I'm going to make this real difficult. And we ultimately made the decision for me to leave my career, for us to move to Georgia, and to give me some time to figure out what it was that I felt called to do while Troy continued to work on the business that he founded, which is the TB Effect. That's our content creation business. We create high quality content, digital media assets for brands worldwide. If you need something, storytelling, let us know. But we have a really great channel for that. But ultimately, throughout my time of really trying to figure out what I wanted to do, I realized that, and I was trying to do mom stuff as Troy was doing his stuff, and I'd help. I saw that there was just this.
She wanted to be a yoga instructor.
Yeah.
Here's Troy.
She's gonna be a doula. She's gonna be a doula. She's gonna be a certified personal trainer. Homegirl had like 8 things that I was like, what grace and compassion, baby. Figure it out, baby. I'll be waiting right
here.
here.
You say it so sweetly. Figure it out, hun. Just figure it out.
You figure it out. I'll be waiting for you because God has designed us to take over the world together and be impactful together. And I'll just wait. You figure all that stuff out.
And I was 37, which I think really matters because like these are kind of things that one would think about maybe when they're like 20. But I just want to make it really clear that I had a full-time career, 15 years, 2 children, husband, home, and still was going back and forth between all those choices of what to do. But we found ourselves always like dividing. And so it's like, I have to work on this. So, and then you do that, or I got to take this call and you do this, or you take the kid here, I'll take, and that was working so against what our core value was, which is autonomy, which is family, which is being together because again, we're friends. We actually like each other. And he was just like, just work with me. So finally, I decided to join him after having to swallow my pride and ego by saying, wait, like I'm this Ivy League student. I was an Ivy League student grad. I did all the things. I made all the money. Like now I'm going to leave what I did to like join you in your business. That was a huge ego check and gut punch for me that I had to swallow. And I'm so thankful that I did.
Oh, that's in real life. I washed my hands and put lotion on so that I wouldn't be ashy. I got to put the ring back. I am really married, by the way.
All right. So Shantel, you've been in business with Troy for how long now? Like you took the leap, you put the ego and the pride aside and said, all right, Troy, it's time. I'm joining you. So how long has it been?
So I've been working with him for the past like 7 years in content
Wow.
creation. And I think that's also what a lot of spouses don't realize is you're actually already working together.
Yep.
Like whether it be you listening to
Yeah.
someone's presentation, you just listening to them vet, you helping them look at numbers, you spell checking, you doing whatever, most likely you have already assisted your spouse or your partner for a lot longer than you give yourself credit for. So I was serving as his assistant for 7 years, doing all the behind the scenes work. And then for the past 2 years, just about 2 years now, a year and a half, officially as Spartners, where it's full time. He shared the ownership of the company by saying, okay, it's our company.
Well, not even just that, like going through the
That's
CPA,
big.
all the
Making it
logistical stuff,
official.
making it super official. Because the goal was, this is the key here. The goal was never to work for me. The goal was to work with me.
With me.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not working
Big
for
difference.
me, you're working with me. So yeah, I wanted to make sure that she understood that. Like I respect her wholeheartedly as my equal. And yeah. So excited for where we are now.
Oh, I'm so excited. We have some people who are commenting, Jason, who's on Facebook and LinkedIn, asking, hey, do they have a book? And we're going to get to that, Jason. We are. Yes, we do. And that's so great. I love this. I can tell how much just love there is, and just even in your business and in your marriage. And Shantel, it's funny because I feel like our roles are a little reversed, because I'm the Troy in my marriage, where I'm like, I just want to have the freedom. I want to be able to do the things. I want to take the risks. You have the steady, you have the benefits. You have all those things. And now he's so close to just being done. Like he's got 3 years left to go. And he's like, I'm done. Like to me, this is like cakewalk.
That's awesome.
He's like, I'm done. But it really has allowed me to be the mom and to be the person who's here and taking the kids and being able to have such freedom and flexibility. And so, yeah, I love that you took that leap and you're working with Troy, and it sounds like things are going very well. I mean, I see your pictures and you guys are just so like, you're the cutest couple ever.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my gosh. Like the cutest couple, so lovey-dovey. I can tell how much you admire her and vice versa. So I love that you're on here together. So thank you, Shantel. You're like, can Troy come on with me? I'm like, well, yeah.
we really value oneness, and this has truly been the essence of everything that we do, is that we do it in unity, in unison, and together. And we recognize that we are a symbol for God's love and glory on our lives. And what better way to show that than through the love of one another? And so we are hand in hand all the time. Better and for the great. But it's truly exponentially elevated and enriched our marriage so much by joining forces in this way. And I, like you said, we're so grateful for it. We truly are, because it's not about the business. Like, businesses will come and go, right? Like well, depending what kind of business you have. Hopefully our business lasts forever. But point is regardless where the business goes, because we have such core values and responsibility and commitment and strategy, like intentionality in our marriage, it continues to get stronger and stronger each and every day, each and every month, each and every season. And so regardless what the business does. And so for us, attaching business to our work has allowed us to truly become so much more fruitful in what we do, because we truly believe that God didn't just design us to like each other, love each other, and watch Netflix on Friday night. But he also has empowered us to make an impact on our community that we serve, to make a difference and to be fruitful in that space.
Girl, I love it.
Yeah.
I love you. I love your heart. I love her heart, man. I love her heart. It's just beautiful. You got to understand, like, when you see somebody and you see the potential in them, right? So I used to hate the word potential, because I thought potential meant something's missing. But like 9 times out of 10, I see people in the way that I want them to see themselves. It's like God has given me this thing to be like, oh, you don't even, like, I want you to know how amazing you can be, how much of a disruptor you can be, how much of a provocateur and game changer, how much of a maverick you can be. So to see her like not behind a desk anymore, doing something that paid the bills, to actually doing something that's fulfilling, it's like literally seeing someone come to life. It still makes me feel like all the butterflies, because I'm like, go ahead, sis, like, talk that talk. I like that. Like, I like to see this woman in her godly convictions speaking with authority. I love to see this confidence. It radiates off of her. Like, I love it. I love it. And I just feel like I feel so grateful to be able to do life with someone like that. Someone that knows, like, we are meant to be here to do more. And we are, and we all are. And I'm in my head already about you and your husband at his 3 years. I'm counting down for you because in my opinion, what better way for you guys to keep it going is to actually find out something that you can do together, to strategize, to plan, to problem solve, to hopefully financially grow and prosper, to continue to live the lifestyle you want to live. Like, God gave you the two of you together. You know each other's areas of opportunity. You know your strengths. Like you said, you wish he didn't do certain things certain way. You have self-awareness, right? Like,
Right.
this is how you continue to never have to wake up saying, who am I married to? Who is this person? When the kids are out the nest, you know exactly who you're married to.
Right.
You know exactly the partner that God gave you. You know exactly what the forecast in the future potentially could look like for you because you're being intentional and staying in that oneness together, you know?
All right, you're hired. You're like my marriage counselors now.
Listen, we got your back is God.
Even Jason saying, I love that. So thank you.
Jason.
Love Jason.
Yeah, good
Love.
stuff. All right, so I have to ask the question, like there are some couples that are thinking about working together, of course. What's some of the hope and advice that you can give to them as they start to think about this journey together? And one thing you said, I love this, Troy. It's not a you work for me, it's a you work with me. Like that right there is huge because I've had business partners in the past where it started out as we work together and then it got to no, you work for me. And I'm like, I'm out.
That's you and me. That's you and me.
We done.
We are the same.
Yeah, exactly. So share some of that, some of the advice that you can give to people who are thinking about starting and working together as a couple.
Yeah, I'd say first, let's acknowledge the elephant in the room, and we do talk about this in our book that we'll talk about later. But that marriage is tough, right? And so we recognize that you are maybe already spread thin, that there are challenges that have come up in the way that perhaps the trust has been broken, and are you rebuilding from that? You're healing. We recognize that there might be some addictions, that there might be family issues. We recognize all these things, right? So marriage is tough, and that is what it is. Yeah. However, it doesn't need to be that tough or as tough with some strategy and tools. Yeah. And one of those would be really unpacking and unlearning yourself by recognizing the ego that you work in, the negative part of your ego. That you can work in that makes you guarded, that makes you hold back, that makes you think that you don't need to listen to anyone. You also need to recognize anything that you have to unlearn. And so what are some of the narratives and myths that you've been told that have told you that you're less than or that you're more than, right? What are some of the things and messages that you've embodied that have handicapped you as far as not allowing you to move in certain spaces? And so we really urge spouses to spend time with themselves and then with each other, because your spouse is the best reflection of you. And so to really start unlayering, taking off all the shirts of the labels that we have on ourselves, so that way we can show up truly vulnerable and open and transparent to each other to now build together. You got to break yourselves down a bit to build yourselves up. So I definitely say to start there.
Yeah, for sure.
Good. All right. So question for you on this one. So you have couples who are working together and you can tell there's some struggle going on. Like it's really driving a wedge between their marriage, their business. And I've seen this a lot. I used to run a mom entrepreneurs group called the Mommy Club years ago. And because I love community, I think you've seen. And it was the saddest thing to me that several of the moms in this group, by the end of us hanging out together, had already made the decision to get a divorce because they felt unheard, because they felt unsupported. And I never want to see that happen. This Empowered Wife book that I read years ago by Laura Doyle, she's a woman out of California who was on a mission to end divorce. Yeah. And I love that mission. I love that.
I love it.
Yeah, it's incredible. And I think that so many people read her book. Maybe they were on the verge of taking that step of going and filing the divorce papers and then saying, you know what, we have more work to do. Like we're not willing to throw in the towel. We're going to fight for our marriages. So I'd love to hear from you, because there might be some people who are tuning into this who are like, that's enough. Like, I can't live with him. I can't work with him. I can't work with her. Like, we're just in a bad place. And how do we get out of the situation that we found ourselves in? So Troy, how about you? How about you tackle that one?
So just to make sure I'm understanding, are these couples that work together or just husband and wives that are on the brink of throwing in the towel?
They're already working together. So they're
Yeah.
husband and wife. They're feeling the strain and the
Yeah.
struggle. And they're on the verge of perhaps getting rid of it all, the
Yeah.
business, the marriage,
Yeah.
everything. Like, everything is crumbling underneath their feet.
Uh,
So what would you say? What would be the message that you would give people, or some helpful advice that you would share with that couple? If you could sit them down right now, Troy, Troy, in your calm voice, what would you say to them?
well, it'd be the first thing I want to do with those people is try to understand the pain root and figure out what's going on. Like, where's the underlying tension coming from? Where's the frustration coming from? What exactly is going on that's making you say, hey, I don't have the bandwidth to do this thing anymore? And then understanding and identifying that, then maybe I could be able to assess from there. Like, a lot of times people are just arguing and ego gets in the way. Like,
Yeah.
ego comes up. And like for us, like, we try to make sure that we're not like accusatory in our conversations, right? So a lot of people, they just don't have the framework. They come out the gate hot. You did this to me. You made me feel this way. When you do this,
Yeah.
you. We like to try to coach people in a different direction. We want people to focus on the position and not the person. When
Mhm.
you focus on the position, right, you're now leaving room for people to see you, validate your feelings, and it's not coming off in a way that makes them feel like they're being attacked. But if I hit you with, you did this to me, Shantel, and when you did that, it made me feel blah, 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 opposed to Shantel, when this is done, it makes me feel this way. I truly hate the way I feel when such and such happens. It just opens up the gate for a little bit more compassion and a little bit more empathy. And we've done this in our marriage classes that we coach, and you just see people change like immediately, like their whole disposition. They're like, wow, like that's great. That's easy for me to do, and it's applicable. And you just see the layers and the ego come off of people, because I don't think, most people, what we really realize is that they want the same outcome. They're just
Mhm.
taking two different roadmaps to get there, right? So it's
Mhm.
like, I want you to see things my way. You want me to see things your way. We really have the same desired outcome, but the path to get there is where the conflict happens, especially in business, right? Like, there's no real, black and white area for us. Like, it's all a gray area. So it's like just having a
Yeah.
fine-tuned approach and a map. Like, we had a call earlier with some friends, and they were like, you know, uh, 2 + 2 is 4. No, 1 + 3 is 4, and it's the same, but it's different, right? So her
Right.
approach is 1 + 3 is 4, and and I'm no 2 + 2. The outcome is
Is the
4,
same.
but
Yeah.
the way we go about it in our language is the divide and what's different. And when we get
Yeah.
people on the same page and try to remind these couples that you are one and you were put together with a common goal, like, that kind of just strips away the layers and the ego so that these people can do things the right way. Our pastor says that the best divorce is a non-marriage, right? So
Mhm.
that takes self-assessment and awareness. So we try to like coach people and mentor people in a way of, hey, listen, when you get into this thing, it's going to be hard, right? If you're in this thing already, that doesn't apply to you. So it's
Mhm.
really intentional that you still do a self-assessment and an
Mhm.
ego check before you throw this thing away, because people don't understand that you're called to so much more.
Yeah.
And we will say at the end of the day, marriage first over business always.
Oh
Right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. We call it MOB.
Yes.
Yes.
And we do also have like a readiness assessment for spouses who are thinking like, is this partnership working with my spouse right for
Mm-hmm,
me?
mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
also offer a
Yes, we
free
do.
assessment
Yeah.
to figure that out before you do get into business, because it
Mhm.
is not for everyone.
Right. Right. It's good. And I mean, like you said, so I had a business partner. She was my best friend. And we did get to that. It was the accusatory, it was pride, it was all of those things. It was, we're not working with together. You think I'm working for you. And I could tell our best friendship was unraveling to a point where I was like, if we continue, I will really, really hate you. Like, I will probably throw something at you. And it got to a point where we both sat down and really assessed am I passionate about this? Are you passionate about this? Do we want the same desired outcome? And in that self-assessment, I was like, I don't want this anymore.
Yeah.
And we were able to walk away, and we still are best friends, and we still do so many things together. But just like you said, it was the marriage, the friendship I have with her over the business. The business, we sold it, we walked away, we did, we're doing great. But that's what I'm saying. I love that you said, the marriage is really what comes first. The business is really secondary, but if you can work together, it's amazing. Incredible. Good. I want to bring this up too. I like that Jason put this up. He said, I love how they reference God with that. Woo, woo. Yeah. Yeah. Big faith believer as well. And it's important. It's important to have that at the center. Good stuff. All right. Well, I know people have asked about books, and I know we're coming short on time. So I want to give you both a shameless plug. Let us know how people can find you while I pull your banners up, and tell us about your book. Actually, tell us about your book, because I'll put that link up first.
Sure. So our book is called Spartners, Discover the Value in Your Spouse as a Business Partner and Enrich Your Marriage. It will be released in February, March of next year. So if you are interested in getting yourself a copy, definitely go to the link there to join our waitlist, spartnersconnect.com. But overall, it really is a book designed to help shift the mindset around actually working with your spouse. We find that couples do want to find a way to align their personal lives and their professional lives, but really don't know how. And so this book gives you an alternate way to seeing how you can do that by uncovering the myths that we believe, by teaching you through actionable steps, how to actually be reflective and become open to talking to your spouse about this. And then also just some practical tips on how this would actually look if you decided to take that jump. So we're really excited about it, because we do believe that you and your spouse were intended to be fruitful and impactful. And what better way than to do that through some sort of business? It could be part-time, it could be full-time, whatever it is. But the relationship that your marriage experiences when you have a common goal with a common interest that makes a great impact on people, your relationship, your marriage will totally transform before your eyes. You'll be able to talk better, problem solve better, love on each other better. You're able to celebrate the wins, it's just so different.
Celebrating wins when you work together is just a whole nother level.
It's so different.
Awesome.
Huge. I love it. All right. And Shantel, I know we can find you at Shantel Brooks on LinkedIn, but you two are both really big on Instagram. So throwing up your links for Instagram, your handles there.
Follow us there.
Yes. And we do on www.spartnersconnect.com. We also do have a wait list for if you're interested in getting our ultimate guidebook to a thriving marriage and business. Please sign up for that, or just, again, our readiness assessment. So if you are interested in working with your spouse but not sure if it's right for you, sign up, and we will get that to you.
Oh, good. And I see Leslie Johnson giving you a shout out, giving you some love, a heart on Facebook. Thank you. Thank you so much. This is what I love about these live streams is I get here every single Friday, unless I'm traveling, unless I'm just off for holidays. But I always meet the coolest people, and it always brings in different audiences like Jason and Leslie, who are tuning in maybe for the first time ever of seeing this show. And it's just, I love that. Such a cool way to connect people by being all in our own homes. Good. And then, of course, you have on your Facebook page, you're at Spartners. You can look them up there. Well, I just want to say I really, really have enjoyed this conversation. You two have started my weekend off on just like such a high note. You're so calming. You're so calming. Troy, my gosh, like so calm. I'm like, I just want to come listen to you talk.
Oh, man, that's great. Calming is not usually how people describe me. so I'm going to receive in the name of Jesus. This is amazing. Because listen, people don't usually receive me as calm. I'm usually like the wild, I ain't got an introverted bone in my body, but there's something about your presence too. I don't know if it's the tea, the Zen sage wall in the back, but I'm feeling, you know what it is? I asked the Holy Spirit to speak for me today when I got here. So I just be intentional and delivering a message. And yeah, that's just the spirit on me, just keeping me calm.
Oh, sweet. I look at this too. So you in the back it says faith,
Uh-huh.
hope, and love. Yeah,
Love
and then
it.
I've got my faith necklace
Come
on
on,
and
come on with it.
my cup. Let's see what is life
Yeah,
is good, and inside
hey,
it says do what you like what you do.
girl,
Simple.
you must listen. We kindred, man. We kindred.
Yeah. So okay. So I know that we're running out of time, and that was just hey, we'll just keep talking. But I wanted to share with you guys, and I love this. I have a question from Jason real quick, so we can address this. It says, I see on their page they have a marriage walk challenge. Oh yeah, yes. Can I talk about that, Chantel? You did send that to me. There were several people commenting when I posted
Yeah.
that for you that this is a
Yeah.
really great opportunity to be able to
Mhm.
walk with your spouse,
Yeah.
get healthy, get
Yeah.
exercise, and really rekindle and reconnect. So
Yeah.
talk about that for a little bit.
Oh man, we're so excited about this challenge. So let's be honest here, right? It is only the 10th of November, right? So we still got
Yeah.
a ton of days in the month for Spartners, spouses to get out, right? The goal is for everyone to get out in the month of November and to do 21 miles. So you can slice that and dice that however you choose. You can do 1 mile a day. You can get out and you can do 0.7 of a mile. You know what I mean? And to get out there with the intention of being in the outdoors, working on your health, but also just getting to know each other better, to spend that devoted, intentional time with one another. We're proud to say that we have over 100 husband and wives right now that are
Oh,
taking in this walk of ours, man, that is getting out there and being
Mhm.
intentional and glorifying their marriage, coming together in the outdoors and just being better. People are enriching their marriages and getting those steps in at the same time. So if you want to
Yes.
join us, man, hit us up on our page, DM us. We'd love to join. We'd love for you to join our community and be a part of what we have going on. It'd be so awesome.
Yes, wellness is one of the cornerstones of our beings.
Yes.
And so this
yes.
is the first of many challenges
Yes.
that will come
Yeah.
your way.
I
Yeah, we got
love it.
something coming.
I wanted to share with both of you, just kind of some plans because we talked about, loving life, simple life. And so
Mhm.
my husband and I and my daughter were actually, and I have a son, but he'll be already in college. So in talking about a business idea, I was like, the thing that would make me happy, we're actually moving to Costa Rica in
Oh, I
about
love Costa
4 years. Yeah. So
Rica.
our target date for that is May 20 or June 2027 after he's retired. And I just said, you know what would make me so happy is just being like the chips and salsa girl.
Oh,
like that is it. Because you guys know, I think just even in the time that we've spent, which hasn't been a lot, I love conversation and I love just being able to be intentional and meeting people where they're at. And my husband's like, you and I are going to get in the best shape. We're going to be running the beach. We're going to be on the boat. So I think that in the future, it's going to be like a boat, chips and salsa kind of thing that we do.
Yeah. Oh,
That
chips
is
and salsa.
amazing.
I'm with it.
Yes.
I love it.
That's amazing.
Listen, we
Yeah.
will come to Costa
Yeah.
Rica.
I
and
know.
We
Yeah.
can do a retreat. We do a Spartners.
Yeah.
We do a Spartners retreat in
Yeah.
Costa
I
Rica.
love it.
All
I
the
think
chips and salsa.
we need to.
All
I
the
think
chips
we
and
need to.
listen. You ain't got to tempt us.
Yes.
Chips and salsa and guac, and we are there.
Yes.
You know what? I have. So one of my very first clients that I had when I started my marketing company, they had a restaurant here and he does salsa. His company is actually called Salsa Love. And amazing, like slow burn, like goes good. And then you're like, oh, okay, this is good. Like just perfect flavor. And I'm like, I think you're just going to have to ship it so I can start a whole like international operation down there and sell the salsa. But anyway,
that
fun
is
stuff.
awesome. I would say you don't have to wait 3 years to get out
No.
to Costa Rica for some salsa and a nice run on the beach with your husband.
Oh, I know. Like we're already talking about like being
Look at that market research.
Research.
Yeah, so we do. We actually have a couple of trips planned to go back before we actually make the move out there. But a lot of fun things happening in the next few years that I'm just super excited about.
Yeah, life looks good on you, man.
Yeah,
life is good. Life is good. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being here and taking time out of your day and being on Tisha Talks Live. And thank you to all of our guests. We had some people on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook tuning in. And just very excited for the both of you and what you have planned and that you continuously challenge yourselves and invite other people to challenge. Look at this. Jason's even saying they should start a podcast.
Yeah, this guy's good.
You guys should. Oh my gosh, you should do this live streaming stuff. It's great. I love it. It's so much fun.
We do have a podcast in the works. So
yay.
stay
See
tuned
that,
for that.
Jason? They're already ahead of you.
Yeah, stay
merch,
tuned.
what you need.
Podcast will be dropping. It's called Spartners, where marriage and business align. So stay tuned.
Oh, that is good. And so do you plan on interviewing other couples who are business partners and just giving your own sound advice? Oh, that's going to be perfect for the two of you. Yeah, way to impact. Good.
Really.
Oh, well, thanks again. And I hope everybody had a great time tuning in. Oh, let me see. Julie. I love Julie. Okay. It was great being in the audience. I've been working with my husband for years now, and now with my daughter. And I know her daughter.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Only business, Julie. That's the goal.
That is awesome.
That is the goal. Yeah. Mother and daughter business. Jason again saying love it. So very engaged audience today. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your Friday and tuning in with us. Next week, I will be back, and this is the last one for November, seeing that we're heading into the holidays. Kevin Logan Jr. will be tuning in, so you guys will love this. He's also brand content creation, and we're going to be diving into that. And just awesome guy. He's very just no BS.
That's my jam. That's my jam. Straight to it.
Straight to it. Yeah. So Kevin Logan Jr. joining me next Friday on Tisha Talks Live. But thank you guys so much. I adore all of you. Such a treat having Troy and Shantel on with me today. And thank you so much for just being in the audience and watching the replay. And we'll catch you back next Friday. Cheers, everybody.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you so much.